a very valuable tool to us. I know that when parents bring their children to a school, the safety of that child is very important. Parents want to know that when they leave their child at a school, they can rest assured that the child is in safe hands. And I believe SmartSapp allows us to do that. Parents are able to drop their children off in a very convenient and efficient way. But more importantly, parents are able to get alerts that tell them exactly who has dropped their child off, at what time the child was dropped off, and who actually picked that child up at the end of the day. Before we partnered with SmartSapp, as a school, we were taking, of course, attendance on our students, and also ensuring that the people who were picking the children up at the end of the school day were authorized to do that. We used to do this through a manual process where there's a book, and so a parent comes in, you sign in with your child's name, and actually we moved on to a point where the information is already populated, but the parent still has to come and find their child's name, indicate what time they either dropped them or what time they picked them up. Now, the challenge with this was that there is no way for you to really verify if the person who's picking the child is authorized to do so. And so if it's not a parent, if it's not a family member that the school is familiar with, then we have to call. As a school, we would at that point let the person know you cannot pick this child up until we have put in a call to the parent to make sure that you are authorized to pick the child up. So we were doing that step to ensure the child's safety.
The school is well trained and gated, and we have security personnel stationed at vantage points just to help facilitate the process. So what we do is, before the parents get into, or when it's their turn to drop off their children, they just generate the QR code. What we do at the gate is we check the temperatures of the kids, we open the doors for them, then that is when we scan to confirm, and then the child is walked safely into the school. And this has been a very, very fast way, and it's a very, very efficient way of dropping off the words. And in this era of COVID, this process has been very, very, very helpful, because we don't have the issue of parents having to crowd at school and they don't even drop off from their cars.
It makes it much easier because all of the information is already put into the system. So to every child's name, there is a parent that's linked, there's an authorized guardian who's linked to the child, and each of those people have a unique QR code, and it's with this QR code that they're able to pick the child up, either by having the child scanned on their phone or by presenting a QR code card. So either way, with this system, if a person is not authorized to pick a child, they do not have access to this QR code, and immediately they come to the school without presenting that information, they're not able to pick the child up. So the school is able to automatically filter out anyone who might be trying to come and pick up a child if they're not authorized to do that. So it makes it very easy. If a parent wants to add on an authorized pickup person, it's very easy to do. You add the person's name on the system, you notify the school, that person is issued a QR code as well, and then they're able to pick the child up.
That is ultimate. It was such devastating news to hear that it's 2:30, it's 3 o'clock, you were expecting your ward home. Your ward is not home. You call the school and the school says, your child was picked up. You can just imagine what devastation that kind of information will cause. And I pray that nobody gets to experience that. Grandma sometimes has to pick up my child, and you know, grandma is not too tech savvy. So I was wondering how grandma would relate to this app and handling it. But thanks to Dodi International School, the QR code for grandma was printed out and it was nicely laminated. So anytime grandma has to do the pick up, she shows the QR code and it's scanned, and then the child names pop up, and then we know that she is the one who has been registered to pick grandma, because without that QR code, she wouldn't be able to pick up any child, for that matter, my child. And that is one thing I really like about the SmartSapp. I'm rest assured that the right person is picking up my child.
So it's very, very comfortable. Thank you so much.
So this makes the process a lot easier, and it ensures the child's safety, so that at any point in time, the person picking the child up from the school is actually someone who is in the school system. If they're not, it's flagged. They do not even have access to a code to come onto our premises to attempt picking up the child.
For that aspect that you know that your child is being picked by someone you trust, I think it's tops.
If my wife drops off the children, I am notified. When she picks them up, I am notified. If I ask someone else to pick up the children, of course with a QR code, I'll still be notified. So no matter what happens, as far as the SmartSapp is concerned, you'll be notified. Knowing that anyone who picks up my wards or children from school, the app will notify me about it. It's very comforting. And it actually makes me relax more, even when I'm coming to pick up the children. I don't have to rush in.
So during our new student process, SmartSapp enables us to capture student data in a very clean and structured way, so that in the future we're able to easily pull information on children, on parents, gives us information on demographics. As a growing school, we're able to use all that data to help us in terms of our decision making and planning in the future. So for me, that's a very valuable aspect, or it's a great added feature from the app.
Usually in the morning when I come, first thing I do is open my emails. Then the next thing is SmartSapp, because that's what we use in checking parents who are dropping in the kids and the time they are dropping in the kids as well. So when I get to the office, I type in my email address. Anyway, I've done it before, so immediately I click email address, it pops up. Then I type in my password. Well, SmartSapp has various things that it does, but for admin, what we usually do or use is the attendance platform and then management. So here with attendance, it shows you the number of students that are brought in, as in dropped off and then picked up at the same time. And then it also shows you the peak times. So from 6:50 up to 9 a.m. This is how the ratio looks like. So you realize that around between 7 to 8 a.m. that's the peak time. That's where a lot of parents drop off their kids. So this usually happens in real time. As the parents are dropping off their kids and the kids being scanned, you see it. So you know how many kids are dropped in a day, and then those who are absent as well. So when you come to management, you see all your students. When you want to check class by class, you can click on campus. So campus, then you pick, so for Dodi, we have early years, primary, and then lower secondary. So early years comprises of kids, toddlers up to kindergarten students. Then let's say I want to check the number of students I have in kindergarten A as at now. So this is it. You go down and then you see, so I have 22 students in kindergarten A. You can do that for all the classes. It will give you the number of students you have in each class.
Interesting thing about the SmartSapp is when you're coming to pick up your children in the afternoon, as you move towards the school, when you send an on my way notification to the school begins to track your distance from the school. So as you move closer, they know you are almost there. And So the children are prepared for you to pick up. By the time you get to the school, they're ready.
For my end, when we do on my way and we get in, we are attended to.
But closing time, we use the on my way. So that is it. So you click on my way and then you have the various pop-ups. So you realize that at this side, if the parent is on their way, it's blue. And the parents are arriving, getting very close, it turns green. So you can see the parents who activated on my way. So we have, if the parent is getting close, they change from blue to green. Teachers are also able to access it on their phone. Very simple. And every teacher is assigned to a particular class. So if a child is in your class and the parents have clicked on my way, you will see the color changing when the parents are getting close. So you get the kids ready and bring them to the gate so that when the parents get here, it will be simple and easy for them to pick them up, which is also very, very, very simple to use.
Beyond that, SmartSapp is something that allows our teachers and our parents to communicate. We recently trained our teachers on the SmartSapp connected community, and we are looking forward to rolling that out to our parents in the upcoming term. We know it's a feature that's going to allow parents to easily get in touch with their child's teacher if they have questions about how the child is doing in the classroom. And teachers can also communicate with parents to let them know how the child is doing at school and what the parent can do to actually play a role in their child's learning.
It can also help you know about the class schedule, for instance. It can also help you notify the school when your children cannot come to school for whatever reason. And that is also a very important feature. It helps you relax. You don't have to make calls. You don't have to be in a right to write a note. You just go to the app, notify the school that Kwesi or Ama will not be coming to school, and it goes on.
I think it's a step in the right direction in what they are doing, because from as a busy parent, sometimes just with your phone you can actually monitor what your child is doing, what lessons they have, what they did that day, and all those little details that make you know. It's like you are also in the school.
Now fast forward to 2021, in the wake of COVID-19, as a school we reopened our doors as many other schools did. Opening our doors though, we wanted to make sure that we were welcoming our students back in an environment that was safe, an environment that was well structured so that learning could still happen. SmartSapp was an incredible tool in helping us achieve this. Now, our protocols had to change coming into this academic term. One of the things we had to put in place was that parents were no longer allowed to come onto our campus. Now with SmartSapp, we were able to introduce a drive-through system that allows parents to conveniently drive up to our school gate, get their child scanned and checked into school, get the child's temperature taken, so that the child then exits the vehicle, comes into school and proceeds to their hand wash station. Now parents are able to do this in a very convenient way in a drive-through system that saves them so much time, but also allows the school to get the information we need on children's attendance and also ensure that the child's health has been checked through their temperature before they come into the school. One more thing that SmartSapp has really helped us to do is to check the health status of our students. So SmartSapp has the COVID risk check that actually prompts parents to take their child's temperature in the morning and then also check for any other COVID symptoms. So as a school, we have decided to have this prompt given to parents on Monday mornings, since the children would be returning from the weekend, So every Monday morning, parents have to check the child's temperature and check for any other symptoms, and then they respond to a few questions on their SmartSapp on their phone. Once they get the clear, showing that the child's temperature is fine, there are no other symptoms, they are given more or less the green light that they can bring the child to school that day. This is an added benefit so that if there is a child who is showing any particular symptoms, they can be kept at home before they come near the school or at a point where they might interact with any other children. And so it enables parents to actually take the proactive step of having their child checked at home before they leave the house. And in fact, I also see that as a way of saving parents a trip. Perhaps if you don't do this check at home, you might bring the child to school only to find that they're running a very high temperature, and then you would have to perhaps drive them back home. And so this is a proactive way of ensuring the child is checked before leaving the house, and it helps us to ensure the child doesn't then interact or with any other children, so that they perhaps will not pass anything on to another child. In terms of intel, it does help us to see perhaps across board how many children are running high temperatures. Is it maybe in a particular class? That could signal to us that we may need to look into, let's say, maybe a primary 3 class, or it does give that intel so that we can zero in if we see a trend of the COVID check telling us that students in a particular classroom are showing high temperatures or are showing particular symptoms. And we have been very happy with how children have adapted to this. We know it hasn't been easy, but children have taken this very seriously, and they're doing their part to make sure their friends and our entire community is safe. Now, for us as a school, we are very focused on our enrollments. We are looking at how can we onboard children in the most efficient way and capture their details in a manner that allows us to use our data as insight. And SmartSapp has enabled us to do that.
And I realized that Dodi was very organized in terms of virtual school and their delivery. And then I was then impressed with the SmartSapp, because we are in the digital age. So any organization or any school for that matter that embraces any digital initiative, I think is worth noting.
And they ask you, what's that about? You tell them, no, I have to key in my child when I bring him in and key him out when I pick him up. And they're like, oh wow, that's a new one. And I say, yes, it is. It makes me relax when I drop my children off at school, because if someone else picks them from school, I will know. But then again, no one else can pick them without my authorization, and that's very comforting.
SmartSapp has really helped us. It has really eliminated a whole lot of paper work which can get destroyed. This is data that doesn't go anywhere. You can access data right back from when you started using SmartSapp. You get information in real time. So for SmartSapp, I'll encourage every school, I would say, to just give it a shot. It's a powerful software.